From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas. Welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show as we start a brand new week off together. Yeah. And hopefully everybody made it through the weekend okay, for those of you that had one. But anyway, hope everybody's safe. A lot of things going on in and around our great country, but hopefully
you guys worked all weekend, huh?
We did. We did. All day, most of the day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday into the evening.
Well, I did, but it was chasing Natalie around the house.
Yeah, I got to see that granddaughter, did you?
I got my grandbaby fix.
Oh, yeah. Got you pappy fix. Yeah. I like that. And she is a doll. Trust me when I say that, everyone out there. She is a living little doll.
She's a mess, is what she is. Told me I was rude this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Papa.
You're rude.
You're rude.
Well, kids, they're certainly a trip. Saturday night, coming back from Arlington, showing homes over there, we ran into the storm that hit around here, and the little community of Briar, from where we are, is kind of northeast, and from what I understand, a small little tornado touched down there.
Yeah.
Did some damage.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors were chipping in on Saturday, or rather Sunday, trying to clean up the mess. So
that's right around the corner from where our buddy Lisa lives out there.
And a tip of the hat to all the neighbors who went out there and helped clean up the mess.
Yeah, and a group of our buddy, the good Dr. Hudson, his wife from her church, went out there and had a cleanup crew and was working like a bunch of Trojans out there helping clean up. And I thought that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
It's a shame it takes something like that so tragic to bring everybody together.
That's a fact.
But it's still a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And if you noticed on our Facebook page, Grandpa and Pappy Facebook page, one of our viewers asked, what are some of the nice things you've seen people do lately? And we're starting to get some good comments on, and Eric mentioned that very thing.
He sure did. He's got a sweet little wife. He did.
So you folks go on there and give us your comments. Doesn't cost anything to be nice, what my daddy always used to say anyway. But that's a show for another time.
Indeed.
Today we're talking what if Democrats ran America like the big cities, and this subject was nominated or brought to our attention by Thomas Brown. Thomas, thank you very much for that.
Downtown Thomas Brown.
I never thought of that way. Yeah, that's good. Downtown.
I used to watch him on TV.
Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the video DJs on MTV.
They might be related.
Yeah, it could be. What do you think? But anyway, as usual, you guys have come through with some really good thoughts. And again, what if Democrats ran America like the big cities? So let's just jump.
I'm beginning to think they already are.
Yeah, sometimes.
The big cities, anyway.
Yeah. Let's just jump right in, Pappy, and see what our viewers had to say.
Let's do it.
John Bossy said it would be a disaster. Why? Look at all the cities they've ruined.
Ain't it so? Ain't it so? Paulette Newberry said it would be quite simple. All the cities that are governed either by Democratic mayors or state governors have not had the guts to bring this nonsense to an end in their city.
Bingo.
They have allowed total destruction there without lifting a finger, and to me that speaks volumes. And they're also now asking for federal help to rebuild their city. So
yeah, of which the president said,
told you so.
Yeah. I know Kenosha, Wisconsin has asked for help, and they are sending in federal officers and the National Guard to get that place cleaned up because of a request by their governor. Hold on, let's see if we got you turned on here.
They are asking for help, but then the governor does not want President Trump to come in and look at all the damage What hypocrisy there? I mean,
Yeah.
give me the money, but don't send the president.
Yeah.
Oh, give us help,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get rid of all
No,
this stuff.
I
and-
think she hit the nail on the head. Give me the money and we'll take care of it ourselves, kind of
yeah,
crap.
you're
you know?
right. They've been saying that for a long time.
They'll just turn around and hand it to the BLMers and T-Pins.
Our buddy Bob Baker says if they win in November, we will certainly find out. And I am scared to death. He is true.
That's probably a fact, Bob.
Lord.
Jerry Blum contributed by saying, sorry, no JFKs anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Democratic, and I think you brought that up one time, Pappy, that the Democratic Party has not been the same since JFK.
I think that's actually where it really started. Actually, I think it was going on long before we've even been made, probably since the inception of a government, you know?
Yeah.
Except it just wasn't discussed openly like it is today.
I heard
They
that.
actually gave a damn about hurting somebody's feelings back then. They don't care about that today. So
No, they don't.
yeah.
Judge Chris Wood told us they kind of already are.
Right.
If you'll notice, we're mostly reactionary. We have true strength in the White House now, but when the next Democrat gets there, we will see.
I'll tell you what, Judge. I hope it's not in my lifetime when that day
Oh,
happens.
you and me, Pappy.
Jesus
I'm
Christ
telling
almighty.
you, it scares me to death every day.
Yeah. Ashley Allred said it's a shame what's going on in America. I really didn't realize the scope of things until I did my research and found out the cities being destroyed are indeed being ran by Democratic leaders. Then I watched the conventions, and the Democrats never mentioned the civil unrest happening in these cities, which is probably a fact.
That's true.
That tells me they are not concerned with citizen safety in those cities, but think it's more important to rag President Trump. Crump. It is pretty obvious to me, and that is so sad. You know, and it is. It's a sad situation.
Good post, Ashley.
Yep.
Very good post.
Very well said.
Jerry Williamson chimed in by saying Costa Rica may look good if they take control, to which Judge Chris Wood answered him and told him they really have good cigars there.
Yeah, they screwed that country up a long time ago, I hear. Johnny Northcutt says the Democrats would fix the illegals from coming into the U.S., then everyone would be moving to Mexico. It would be safer there. Robert Wyman agreed, saying any place might be safer. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I tell you what, you can look at that statement in about three different ways, but I'm just hoping that the true American people and citizens are going to have enough of this and put a stop to it themselves.
Right, that's the only way it's going to be cured. I do.
I think that's coming. I think that's coming very quickly.
Yep.
Tavon Adams, or Tavon Williams, said everyone is getting tired of talking Democrats, Republicans, but that can't be helped with the election coming up. Let's look at facts. The Democrats are allowing all of the protesting and riots to proceed regardless of who it affects. The Democrats seem to approve of what is going on because they think people may blame the president for all of this, when in reality, it is them who are to blame.
Yep.
You are being asked to cast a vote in November, so you better take it seriously and ask yourself if you want our beloved country run like New York, Minneapolis, Seattle, or Austin. I think the choice is simple.
Yeah. So does Eddie Dixon. Mm-hmm. He seemed to agree with Tavon by saying, let's see here.
It sounds like it.
I can just see him. New York, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, and Austin. Any questions? Effing no. Look at what they're doing to the cities now. Or should I say, supposedly, according to the Democrats in Washington.
I really could. I can see Eddie just looking at you straight on. Yeah, that's it. That's the look. That's the look.
Yep.
Let's see. Ariel Mason said, I pray for the people in those cities each night for what they're having to go through. It seems like nobody even cares about the citizens of the cities being wrecked, looted, and burned.
Yep.
They only want to place the blame on someone who takes a stand against those crimes. What has our country come to? God help us if the Democrat doctrine comes to the White House in November. I believe we would be doomed if it did.
I'm inclined to agree with that, Ariel. That's well said. Thanks for sending that in.
Yeah.
It's
Very,
give you
very
something-
thought-provoking
give you
right there.
something
You know?
to be like Eddie and go,
Yeah.
want their cornbread here. William J. Riley said, look at Cuba, and that's what you get. Billy J. Thomas said would be another Venezuela, and Jamie Ward said we would be broke and become a tent country.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to some of those larger cities that we just mentioned, and you see a lot of that going on already. Tents everywhere.
Now, I must say that I misprinted this. I said Big Al Robertson. It's Big Al Baker, our buddy out in East Texas.
Big Al.
I was trying to put this together quickly.
It's all right. We'll change his name for him.
But Big Al Baker said, if true Americans can't see what's going on in this country, then we're all blind and our country is doomed.
Mm-hmm.
If BLM would concentrate on improving the black community, if athletes would concentrate on playing ball and supporting their right to earn millions, and if people would get back to backing our boys in blue, then we can get back to living in a free country where the dream is still alive.
Absolutely.
I still think someone ought to finance a bunch of country boys and turn them loose on those rioters. I believe the destruction would end. If you don't think so, just piss off.
Piss off.
What do you got, Special K?
Did y'all see on the news where there was, I think it was in Portland, where there was a Trump supporter murdered over the weekend?
Yeah, nobody said a word about
Where
that, did they?
is it discussed, and where is the media on that?
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just not right.
Well, if it had been a Democratic supporter, it'd have been all in the news.
Oh, my God, yes.
It'd have been taped to somebody's football helmet and
Right, right.
GoFundMe and all
On
that.
the
I
back.
put that out on the Grandpa and Pappy page.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
I saw
did.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Mary Hannah Rose commented thoughtfully when she said, I say we peacefully protest like they do. But David Harvey said we would no longer be a free country.
Mm-hmm. Brian Emberton says, I don't know. I'm ready to just start shooting every dummy that opens their mouth anymore. Vote Biden to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what was that little speech he made? When was it? Yesterday? He was in front of a bunch of school kids, and I think, if not all of the majority of them were African American children.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about doing this and doing that and having children sit in his lap, and he's looking around all these kids, goes, I just love when kids get in my lap.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, I know he didn't go there.
Oh,
I guess
Lord.
he's proud of it. I don't
Wow.
know. Okie dokie. Barton Taylor, Donna Briggs Moss, Lisa Seeley, and David Watson all said, hell no. And Lana Lackey said, I don't want them running anything. Run their ass on away from here. That's what they could do.
That's very, very, very
By
true.
God.
And the murders just keep adding up and adding up and adding up. I
crazy.
believe there was a little 5-year-old girl that was shot in her bed. And then she's in critical condition. And there was another little girl, I believe 7 years old, African-American child, that was shot by an African-American man and shot and killed. And we are not hearing anything about that.
No.
Why?
In fact, they yanked that post of mine off of Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, the second it hit, bam, it's gone.
Blocked it.
So I had checked lately, but I'm probably incarcerated again. I don't know, because I was pretty busy come about Saturday morning on Facebook.
Still got your orange jumpsuit.
That's right.
Okay.
I just got it out. Just got it out of the laundry Friday, so I'm
Out
ready
of the
to go.
cleaners, yeah. Well, you know, what can you say? Mary Sue Wilson says, I'm so tired of all of the discussion about politics,
Thank you.
rioting, and
Me
voting.
too, me too.
But in reality, you can't get away from it.
No.
I want to keep my opinions to myself. Then I hear someone spout off something that's so untrue that I have to put my 2 cents in.
Yep.
I guess that's part of being an American. Speak up for what's important to you and how you feel. Just kill them with your brilliance.
I don't know if I could. I could baffle them with my bullshit, but I don't know how to kill them with my brilliance. But that's very true, Mary. You know, and Grandpa and I talk about it all the time. We're so sick of politics and political rhetoric and crap going on. But I mean, it's everyday news. What do you do?
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. You can't get away from it. I mean, and like one of our comments earlier, they're tired of it, but they can't get away from it because it's an election year and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, and you know, I'm under the conviction, and you've heard me say this before, I don't think the real talk's going to start till after November.
It's a very possible.
And the real looting and burning. That's, I mean, 'cause I can't
That's
see.
when the war will break out.
Yeah, well, that's probably what's going to do it when they announce Trump's been reelected and all hell break loose.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Cindy Gail Roberts Thomas said no, they shouldn't. Most of them, along with others, need to be replaced as soon as possible.
And we've been saying that, Pappy, for what, the last 4 months?
That's what would turn it around right there.
Yeah. Jennifer Hoopengarner Thomas said, hell no. I like my freedoms that they're trying to take away. John Bossy chimed in to say, no, also, they're emotional decision makers, not critical business-minded decision makers.
That's true.
And that's a good point, John.
That's true. But, I mean, if their emotions and ethics and morals were all on the same page, it wouldn't be so damn bad. I mean, worry about what's good for the country, not what's good for the party, you know. So, but I don't think that's going to happen. Bob Baker seemed to look at it from a different standpoint. He says only one governor out of 50 has upheld the U.S. Constitution during the pandemic, and no mayors, regardless of the party affiliation. How are the Republicans going to do better? Maybe you need to rephrase your question. Maybe not.
Thought-provoking.
That's right.
Matthew Bannister answered Bob Baker by saying, I think the question is referring to crime rates, murder rates, and economic fiscal responsibility. To which Bob Baker asked Matt, so how are the Republicans going to do better? This isn't Democrats versus Republicans anymore. This is federal government against the people.
I can see his point, but I'm beginning to think it's more of one-sided federal government against the people, and I'm sure I'll hear from Bob about that.
Yeah.
But Big Matt Bannister and Bob Baker continued their point-counterpoint discussion
They
by
had some
telling
good ones
Bob,
too. Yeah.
you are right to some degree, but our current president has done better. The economy was strong, jobs were great, and when it comes to the state of Texas, Abbott has done well on many fronts, and I agree with that. I completely disagree and believe that the mask was and is unconstitutional. However, Texas' economy has been relatively strong throughout everything, which is why Texas has become a melting pot with other people from other states and countries. I don't necessarily like it because I don't want my state ruined, but till the war begins, we really can't do much about it either. I'll be here ready for that day. Wow. Well, I'll be standing right beside you, big boy.
Yeah, there's, you know, and unfortunately, I'm hearing that more and more and more and more that there's going to be not a civil war, but a race war. And that's what bothers me a lot.
No, it's about the same thing.
Because I know that we both have some really good African American friends that are Democrats.
Yeah.
And they are not real happy with the way their party is going. And how many African Americans are coming out now on Facebook with their own videos and their own opinions about,
That's right.
you know, this is a great country. This is a country where the American dream is still alive and you can make it. And their point is you got to want to make it and you got to get off your butt and get a job and get after it.
How bad do you want it?
Thank you.
And I know all three of my boys' toenails just curled up hearing that, but you know, they tell me they want this, they want that. Well, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, you want your freedom, you want your right to vote and have your own opinion. How bad do you want it?
That's a good point.
Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a lot of unruly actions for that to come about.
That's
So,
true. But tough love, so
Yeah.
to speak.
yeah.
Isidro Rodriguez said simply, I don't like any of the candidates. One seems to have lost his senses, and the other seems to have lost his way. With that being said, at least one of them seems to be trying to do his best to keep the country free. The things happening in our big cities is the most embarrassing thing for the United States.
It is.
Countries around the world are saying, boy, the Americans want us to do things a certain way, but they can't control people rioting in their streets.
Yep.
Let that sink in.
Yep.
Thank you, Isidro.
You know, and that's well said, Isidro. And we've talked about this before. I mean, we both traveled about across the big pond and so forth. I mean, even our best allies in my travels were laughing at us. Were laughing at us while they were taking our money and our help and coming over here and invading our space and everything. But I mean, it's just like, I mean, and you're talking about things that are being said between the two different parties. I do think I mean, it's not just Democrats having something on the Republicans through the years. Some things you don't talk about, like on the playground, you don't talk about somebody's mama when you're fixing to get in a fist fight. Same thing. You know?
Scenario, yeah.
But I tell you what, I have a feeling here pretty soon, old Mr. Barr is fixing to cut loose on a bunch of people.
Yeah, and I think it was you that posted something that the indictments are about to come down.
Yeah, they're in place. I just don't think they've been filed yet. You know,
and they haven't released the names yet. I guess they don't want anybody to take off running.
Yeah.
Get back here, Hillary!
That's right.
Stop it.
Well, I guess Barr will be the next one to commit suicide. Huh? If you know what I mean. Mark Carrington said, face it, Democrats have had control of everything for hundreds of years and have dirt on almost politicians. And that was just exactly what I commented on. That's what brought that up. I was reading ahead, I guess. But when you're by due process, you're trying to do the best thing for your country, not for your pocket. You know, I mean, that'll all fall in place. You know?
Let's look at it this way, too, Pappy. You know, when President Trump ran, he wanted to clean out the swamp.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, he was not just talking about Democrats.
No. Oh, no. He's gotten rid of a lot of Republicans.
Yes.
In fact, they went first, I do believe.
I think you are correct.
He had to build his team so he'd get rid of the other folks.
Yeah. So what he was referring to is hey, just clean them all out. Let's start again and see if we can get this thing right. You know, so I agree with the president on that. Clean out the swamp, and you can do that, folks, in November. You can do that.
And I would be supportive. I would go as far to say for the right Democrat, which I don't think he's around, but if he'd come in and clean the swamp out and rebuild it the way it needs to be built,
according to the Constitution,
for the people.
Yes,
you know, not for him and his team, but for the people of America.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
I don't care what you are, Democrat, Republican, they either do the right thing or get the hell out of the way and let somebody in there that can. So,
great observation. Great observation. David Keith Fansler said Democrats are domestic terrorists and they need to be sent to Gitmo.
Gitmo.
We'll be happy to let them burn it to the ground with them inside, plus the other domestic terrorists like BLM and Antifa. All right, how do you really feel there, Dave?
I guess that'd be one simple solution. Brett Barker and Sherry Scarra just simply said, "Hell no."
And a lot of folks are saying that.
That's a common thread.
I tell you, it's become comical to me to listen to these news casts.
But in a sad way. I mean,
Well, it does, but it's become comical because you're laughing because you know they're BSing. You know they're
sitting there
lying
the whole
to
time
you.
going,
Yeah, right.
yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you bring me another beer?
I have some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell too. Yeah. Marcus Washington saved his comment for the last. He said, "What needs to be done is to get the destructive faction of the protest off the streets by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
It is their right to have peaceful gathering, to voice their opinions, and that's guaranteed in our Constitution. If the destructive factor was removed, I believe it would pave the way for a peaceful way for them to present their case not only to the politicians, but to the American people, and maybe, just maybe, things would get back to normal."
You know, and he's right, but
In a utopia, that would be terrific.
It even goes back beyond that. If they would have dealt with the mainstream media when all this crap first started coming out, you wouldn't have that destructive factor on the streets.
Did you hear about Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky getting jumped by a crowd? The last night of the Republican convention,
Really?
he and his wife decided to walk the 2 blocks to their hotel.
Oh,
And they came upon a group of rioters who recognized him and started coming toward him, and some Washington, D.C. police saw this and got between them. And Senator Paul said it grew from like 10 or 15 protesters to around 300. They were calling them all kinds of names, telling them they're going to kill them, making threats, and they finally got to their hotel, and now you protesters had done pissed the wrong guy off, because he held a press conference and he said, "We're going to find out who is financing these bozos, and we're going to take care of them."
well, I hear you talking.
There was several of them coming from the RNC convention that got
Yeah, there was a
Dave
elderly.
Bongino, that is one of them, that him
Yeah.
and his wife got attacked as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
and there was a elderly couple
Yes.
that got jumped crossing the street in a crosswalk and beaten almost to death.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm telling you, you guys have pissed off the wrong person when you went after a senator like that in front of witnesses and in front of cameras.
Yeah, Rand Paul don't play games.
He will not stop until he holds special congressional hearings on this and talks them into finding out where all of their financing is coming from.
I heard well, we pretty much know where that's coming from. I do believe.
Well, we can speculate, but I mean, until
Yeah.
what's your favorite saying? Until they trace the money,
Yeah.
you really can't say. And I think that's what Rand Paul is fixing to do.
We know where it's not coming from.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it easier.
Let's take a look at some of our viewer comments on
let's
past
do.
shows that you've taken the time, which we thank you for writing in.
Yep.
Shirley Mills wrote in about our show on mail-in ballots. She said they all need to be at the poll votes. At the poll votes. Mail-in will make it easy for Democrats to be sure Biden gets votes meant for President Trump. And did you see that video on Facebook where they caught this postal worker dumping
Yeah, I reposted that. It got removed too.
dumping letters in a trash bin?
We're not talking a handful of letters. They were carts.
Yes.
Big baskets loaded up in the back of his
And they're
truck.
wondering why the president don't want mail-in ballots, because most of his will probably wind up in the garbage bin.
Well, the majority of Republicans are not going to be able to get in to vote by face anyway, because all the damn protesters and rioters over the mail-in ballots not being accepted, plugging up the whole damn way.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they can get off the butt and go up there and do it, but they can't get off the butt and go up there and vote.
Ain't it so?
What's up with that? Marie Thompson West wrote in to ask, did you see the difference between the DNC convention and the RNC convention? Wow, what a stark contrast. The DNC spent 4 days finding things wrong with the president, while the RNC spent their 4 days recognizing that there were problems in America, but at the same time showing the good side of our country. All I can say is, wow, what a difference. Yeah,
And she's right,
absolutely.
basically, from what we saw.
Absolutely.
Darla Walker expressed her view on Joe Biden's choice for a running mate, Kamala Harris. She says that Harris is suffering from disease. It's called liabetes.
Darla found a new word, didn't she?
There's our comment of the day, right?
Hey, I'm supposed to be the one with pappyisms here, man. Digging in my dictionary again, kiddo. That's funny. Diabetes.
Liabetes, that's got to be a great word.
Severe case of diabetes at that. Michael Ricks wrote in about the show concerning National Guard military being used to quell riots. He said, I want to remind you that upon request by the Wisconsin governor, President Trump has sent federal officers in the National Guard to put an end to the violence there. Maybe more governors should follow his lead and we can stop this nonsense.
And you're right, Michael. We touched on that earlier in the show today.
I do think it's going to take something that dramatic to either kick off the big one or end it, you know.
Anson Williams finally said, I know who I'm voting for, but hell, I'm tired of all the political BS. So I'm going to, you're going to love this, so I'm going to sit back, watch the hunting channel, and drink cold beer.
By God, that's my boy right there. I'm with you, Henson. I am. I'm so sick of it. I mean, even with the BLM Antifa crap, we came to terms about we're sick of it. We're not even going to discuss it anymore.
Special K, I can tell you, I was transcribing all these yesterday when I had a chance in between real estate appointments, and I started laughing. She could tell you, I just started laughing my butt off when I read it. I read it 2 or 3 times.
I like the way that boy thinks. Well, we'll watch a hunting channel and maybe American Pickers, by God. I'll buy the first 6-pack.
We want to thank everybody for your comments today and
guys are
remind
great.
you that there's a couple of ways that you can get in touch with us to
There
either
is.
give us your comments or make your subject matter known to us, and that is right above my shoulder there. You can send it to our email address at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com,
Absolutely.
or
Or you can hit us up directly on our website, our show page website, at www.grandpa, and the letter N, Pappy, grandpaandpappy.com.
that is correct.
There you will find that big red button that a Special K just made magically appear. And push it. All you got to do is subscribe. Come up with a little simple pimple password and subscribe. And you can leave comments at that site. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Absolutely.
Complaints. We read them all. We tell you that every week. We read every single little one of them. And we respect them. A lot of them we don't agree with. But that just means...
Everybody's got their own opinion.
Yeah, even though we're right, you're entitled to that, you know.
Hey, our
But
show
no, send 'em on.
our show on Wednesday is going to be asking the questions: did the convention sway your vote in any way? This is another subject matter from one of our listeners, and we appreciate that. And you've been very generous with your comments. And we do want to remind you 2 things. First of all, Pappy and I are going to take a little vacation on Friday and Monday and be back with you next Wednesday.
We're going to labor.
Yeah, let the brain recharge a little bit, but
Labor.
we'll see you on Wednesday. The second thing is the T-shirts have been ordered, and they should be coming in the next, 2-3 weeks?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully inside the next 10 days or so. So, and once again, if you want to save shipping and pre-order, right now we're set up to where we can accept payment. So if you want to pre-order, I will be more than happy. Grandpa and I will save you some shipping, and we'll even chunk in a little glow-in-the-dark bracelet to go with it, a show bracelet.
Yes, we will.
By God.
So do that today. Hey, folks, we'll see you back on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Until then, we tell you to hug your kids, let them know you love them.
Yep. Let them know we love them here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show as well.
Be safe. Take care of yourself, and we
And
will
one
see you
another.
on Wednesday.
That's right.
Until then, take care. God bless, and see you then.
See you then.
Bye-bye.